Yo, what's up, people? Welcome to the Joe McFo Show. We are back with another live stream, and we're continuing to do the webcomic development. I was not here last week because I was at Disneyland, and so now we're getting back into it, and we're gonna see what we can come up with. I don't really have a particular goal for the end of the day. Probably should have one now that I think about it, but anyway, um, it is what it is. So I'm playing music now. Let me know in the chat if it's too loud or if you can't hear it at all. And let's see who we got here. We got Kathy on. Hello, hello. We got Manette. Hello. Thank you for coming on the stream. Everyone else who's here, say what's up, and we will get into it. So with the comic, we're moving pretty slow, admittedly. Moving a little slower than I would like, but life happens. You know, you got lots of stuff happening. And when you have 2 or 3 jobs and you only get to work on this like once or twice a week, like really seriously, it can take a little bit of time. But that's okay. So this is where we are with the comic. It is still, looking pretty good. I like most of what we have here. So we're just going to continue going and going to go with what page is this? Number 9, I guess? Yeah, page 9. And we're just going to continue on and bring in some different backgrounds, sketch that out a little bit. I noticed something else too in this sketch. I haven't quite figured out the perspective here. I might have to redraw 1 or 2 of these characters. I'm not sure just yet, but we will see. So let's see what we got here. Megan is on. Hello, what's up? Thank you for coming on. All right, so let's jump into this one here. So, also, my mind's going like a mile a minute. I have been really focusing lately on updating my Pinterest boards with some stuff, and like for the environments and everything. And I'll give you guys a little sneak peek about what I've updated for Shiloh. So we have a lot of cyberpunk-esque type stuff, but I finally found a group of images that I thought worked. Of course, Spider-Verse has to be in there. That'll be our first hydration check of the day. But something about these buildings, like even looking at stuff like this is really starting to feel closer to what I envision Shiloh looking like. And so I want to do some experimentation in my own time and just see what it is that I can come up with. I've also been working on environments in my own time, like just kind of refreshing myself on perspective, because that has been something I've been avoiding quite a lot, just because I don't like doing it. But I've been finding little tricks to make things faster. So I think once I get to a place where I feel a lot more confident, I think this comic will go so much faster. But you guys can kind of envision the world I'm going for a little bit more here than I think was previously seen. So yeah, there's your little sneak peek. Mars is on. Hello, thank you for coming on. And want to know how you guys are doing. How has life been treating you? Last time we spoke, I said that I was going to Disneyland, and I indeed went, but my goodness, was it exhausting. I think we walked 20 miles in 2 days, and my feet were hurting so bad that my friends were making fun of me because I didn't know that I wasn't going to be wearing the right shoes. Some people plan things a little bit more lax than others, and then some people just want to go full throttle on stuff, and that was the group I was with and didn't know it. And so we ended up walking a long time, and it was super fun, and we went on a bunch of rides. I think we went on at least like 30 rides, because the first day was like 15 to 20, and I know we went a bunch more the second day. We rode some of the same things a couple times over, but we went on like Star Wars stuff. We went on Roger Rabbit, that famous ride. We did Indiana Jones, the Matterhorn, the Incredicoaster. If you guys haven't been to Disneyland, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, but it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So it was needed. It was needed for me to take a little break. It was needed. All right, so that's not the right color. So right now we're sketching out Javen a little bit. What's up with arrow? I want the arrow to disappear. I don't want to see it. Maybe that'll make things go a little bit faster. Oh, it's still loading. Okay, there we go. All right, so sketching in his nose over here. Since he's looking down, it's not going to be quite the same as how I had it. Get the stick pencil out. If you're going to pay that kind of money, then you want to make the most of it, I guess. Honestly, it's true. I spent over $400 for 2 days at Disneyland, and that's just for the ticket. So we had the ticket for Disneyland, and then if you do the park hopper, so you go California Adventure, that's another add-on, and then we had the Genie Plus, which is kind of like a fast pass. If you don't know, basically there are certain rides where you can skip the line, and it comes every hour. So that was like another $65 on top of that. And so to do all those things cost me over $400. Not to mention the fact that I ate there. I had a couple churros and like sorbets and stuff like that. We had lunch there both days. Just got some popcorn because obviously you have to get Disneyland popcorn. And I didn't spend much time in the gift shop. I'll let you know right now. That's a whole other cost. That's a whole other fee. But I did find this little corner of Disneyland I never really explored before. Well, actually, technically it's California Adventure, but they have this little area where they have artists sit down, like from Disney, or at least artists who look like they're good enough to be working at Disney, and they just kind of draw on the side, and they're just in the store just drawing frames from old Disney films, which is not too different from what I'm kind of doing here, except we do Shadow Boxers. So I thought that was kind of cool. I'd never like explored that side of things. And then they had like these classes where you get to learn how to draw the characters. And I skipped out because I figured I didn't need it, if I'm being honest. Because I really don't think I did. Like, why? This face is not looking right to me. Yeah, let's. I can't tell the difference between brush density and the opacity. I have no idea what the difference is. But yeah, I'm trying to think what other things that I do. I went on the Pinocchio ride. Y'all, Pinocchio is freaking scary. That one, I don't know how little kids weren't like having nightmares, because I was kind of freaked out, and I'm a grown man. I'm almost 30 years old, and that was something. And I know that was one of their first rides. I think they originally had like Pinocchio, Snow White, Peter Pan, and maybe I know like Pirates is an old one too, and probably like something from Tomorrowland, like Matterhorn or whatever. But they had you go into Pleasure Island. They had Monstro in there, and that was kind of freaky. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. So if you ever go to Disneyland, just know that it's a little on the scary side. Not like you're gonna have nightmares, but I could see like an 8-year-old having a nightmare easily. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Head feels a little bit more tilted now. Eyes are different sizes, actually. Which size do I like? Okay, I think this one's going to be scaled down a little bit. It's a little too childish for what I'm going for. Oh, I also, because of Disneyland, decided to rewatch Peter Pan this week, from 1953, and I forgot how jacked up the movie is. Like, I know there's the racial stuff that people talk about with the natives, or in the movie they call them Indians, but I forgot how like homicidal some of these people were. Like Captain Hook, the first scene you see him in is this guy on top of the mast of the boat, and he's playing an accordion, singing a song, and the Hook just looks at him, pulls out his pistol, and just unalives him right then and there. And I'm like, dang, like I was watching this at 2 and 3 years old, and no one said anything, huh? It's like, wow, okay. And then Tinkerbell was also kind of on one. She was trying to get rid of Wendy real violently. Those Lost Boys are basically terrorists. It's like, wow, this is really something. I don't remember any of this. I don't remember any of this. They try to drown Wendy. It's like, this poor girl, she don't get a break. And Peter just like leaves her behind. Like she like after what's the girl's name? Tiger Lily is saved. She's Peter Pan's like, all right, we gotta drop her off at home, and he's carrying her, and he didn't even wait for Wendy. She's like, wait for me. And I just couldn't stop laughing. I was like, this dude's a jerk. Like, wow, what in the world is this? Yeah, anyway. I watched the Del Toro Pinocchio this week. It was fun. I still need to watch that. I have the poster of it right up here somewhere. Yeah, I have not seen it. Hello, how's everyone doing? Why is the boy pouting? Oh, he's kind of got a determined look. He's they're basically about to ask him if he's ready to go tagging, and he's like, yeah, I'm good, I got this. So this is his kind of determined look. Although maybe the pout is a little too strong. Maybe I need to do something a little bit more firm like that. Yeah, there we go. The eyes are slightly different. I'm trying to match it up as best as I can. Character consistency is one thing I didn't realize that I would, be as challenged with as I am now working on this. Because, I draw my characters all the time, but getting them in consistent poses for every single frame and, all that comes with it is a lot more challenging. I'm like, oh, this is legit. This is tough. I understand now. Also watch the Del Toro Pinocchio, really recommend. I just remember I think the only Pinocchio I've seen is actually the the Disney version. And I remember, I think I watched it last time. I probably watched Peter Pan when I was back in high school. And I just remember Pinocchio goes off to Pleasure Island, which is a whole strange thing in of itself. And he goes back home because he wants to get back home to Geppetto, right? And then he finds the whole place abandoned, and then this magic dove, I kid you not, comes out of the sky, out of nowhere. There's no lead up, there's no foreshadowing, nowhere, and just comes and flies with a letter, and it's from Geppetto, and it says, "Dear Pinocchio, I have left my shop looking for you, and I have been swallowed by the whale Monstro, and if you can come find me, that would be great," or something along those lines. And I was like, first of all, where'd this dove come from? Second of all, how'd you write all this after being swallowed by a whale? Third, why would you leave the one place that Pinocchio knows to call home after like a day and a half? Like dude didn't even get through the weekend on Pleasure Island before Geppetto just upped and moved. Like, what kind, has anyone ever moved like all their stuff, like an entire house worth of stuff? It is a difficult job. It is a very difficult job. I've done it several times, and it takes a couple days or weeks to plan that thing. And he just up and left in a day and a half and didn't even care. He's like, calls himself trying to find Pinocchio. I think he wanted to get swallowed by Monstro. I'm starting to think that was his plan all along. It's like, look, I don't want to be that parent, but if you can find me, go ahead. But I'm out. Life kind of sucks. Yeah, but that was pretty funny back in the day. Let's little lower, a little bigger. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, but now I want to I kind of want to rewatch some of the older movies just to see what you know, if my memory still has them kind of think about the same way. Oh, you said like Geppetto went to get the milk at Monstro. It's kind of how it feels though. It does kind of feel like that. He just up and left and got swallowed. And first of all, even okay, first of all, to be able to identify the whale is pretty miraculous by itself. But to expect Pinocchio to know that is a whole other thing. Like there was no buildup. It'd be one thing if he told him a bedtime story and Monster was mentioned. I don't think that happened though. I think the whale just shows up. But yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. If you're there for the lulls, it's great. I never drew his hair like quite like this before. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, Geppetto just up and left. He did not care. Took the cat, took the fishbowl, everything. Alright. This is good. It's frame 1. Here, I'm gonna grab my Pinterest board. Well, it was a weekly story originally, if I'm not mistaken, from the journals. Monstro was? Monstro was a weekly story? Alright, let's grab some reference. This will work. Look how colorful this is. That's a cool shot. It's really cool. Go in, we gonna. Good. Let's choose like orange. I don't use orange very much. Okay, so let's say the roof of the building. Let's say it's like here. That's nice. Okay. Oh my goodness, look who's up early. What's up, Mark? Thanks for coming on, dude. Pinocchio is a weekly journal, mini story in chapters. It's also confusing because they really changed the role of the Blue Fairy. She was the one to tell Pinocchio of Geppetto. I didn't know that, actually. So, again, I'm only familiar with the Disney version of Pinocchio. I never read the story. I've never seen another Pinocchio movie. With the exception of the Pinocchio character in the Shrek movies, I don't know anything about the dude. Yeah. Although I did see this joke kind of going around a couple months ago, and it said, "Would Pinocchio's nose grow if he said my nose is about to grow? Like, what would happen?" It was kind of like a fun little paradox that was pretty cool. Right, let's get some buildings back here. Actually, we could probably. going with a tangent in a weird spot, so let's do it like here. And these will be off in the distance, so it's not going to be something that's meant to really stand out too much. You guys watch any cool movies or anything lately? I've just been on this kind of thing, thinking about stories and, the standard of things. How movies are nowadays. I'm just going to add some funky shapes in here just because I can. Ideally, I would have like a city layout and just kind of map it around, but I don't know. Don't have it yet. Not movies, but some anime on my part. Watched Del Toro's Pinocchio, like I said, but also have been watching some original Batman, the animated series. I watched a couple episodes of that when I had, what did I have? The DC Universe app. I think it was before HBO. They put it on HBO or Max or Max, I guess. But yeah, that's a fun show. I haven't been watching movies and just watching a lot of Bob's Burgers, but then this weekend ended up watching Killer Body Count and Harlem Menor, both horror movies. I don't know them. Been reading, listening to a lot of audiobooks. Ooh, cool. Yeah, yeah, there's so much to catch up on. There's so much. Recently, after going to Disneyland, I've been wanting to rewatch Toy Story, just the trilogy. I never saw the fourth one. I don't know. Can someone tell me if they liked the fourth one, if they saw it? But yeah, I really kind of want to watch that one again. That was one of the first movies I ever remember seeing because it came out the year I was born, in '95. So, yeah, that was like one of the first VHS tapes was Toy Story, and man, it was a fun movie. It was really fun. And I thought it was also really clever that they had their first major movie about toys because the 3D animation already looked like plastic anyway. So it's actually pretty ingenious. Mark says, I've only watched the first Toy Story. I think 2 and 3 are 100% worth it. I think they excel at the story. Like, I think it's better than the... I think the first two are actually better than the first one, and the first one is perfect in my opinion. There's not, I mean, outside like maybe the animation quality, which for the time was revolutionary, but now it's dated because it's almost 30 years ago. I think it looks fantastic. I think it's fantastic, honestly. Okay, so do that, and maybe like a little corner. You know how roofs often have like a little ledge or like a wall, small wall, something like that here. Yeah, I'll go back in with the proper perspective and make sure all that's looking solid. But yeah, I kind of picture this as like a slummy area. So there's probably gonna be lots of, lots of cracks in the walls, and homes with balconies, and not to say that you live in the slums if you have a balcony, but yeah, I think you guys know what I mean. Try and make it look like a lived-in place. Let's say that. Let me see. I thought the fourth was fine, but I heard some people didn't like how it changed parts of Woody's character. Oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah, it just, to me, it felt unnecessary. It was just unnecessary to me the whole time. So yeah. Where is Z in the second panel? I figured he just walked off and moved around. Let's see. Watch the trilogy. Haven't watched the fourth either. Doesn't inspire me as much. They're making a fifth one for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're doing well. They're doing well, apparently, with the exception, I guess, of the Buzz Lightyear movie, which I didn't see. I just don't understand why they didn't get Tim Allen to voice Buzz this time. I think they got Chris Evans to do it. That was a weird decision for me. I didn't fully get that. I did not grasp the concept. So let's I also want to rewatch Monsters University again. I watched the YouTube video on it maybe like 3 or 4 days ago. And it's talking about the character development of Mike and what the story basically is, like what the theme of the story is or what it's representing. And it's pretty deep. Like I didn't catch it as a kid, but the whole story of Monsters University is basically wanting to do something your whole life and not succeeding in it, which is a really deep message for a kid to get. Because if you guys haven't seen it, or need a reminder, basically the movie is Mike wanting to be the top scarer, and he is always wanting to be that guy, but he just isn't scary, and everyone tells him no, he can't do it. So he wills himself into believing it, and at some point he gets his shot to be scary, and he fails. And so the whole movie is really just about that whole thing. It's really something. It's really something. Let's see. Tops of Java and Enzi's heads are almost hinged to the top edge of the panel. Maybe the whole composition could move down a bit. Oh, that's a good point. That is fair. Let's move them down. Bam. See, Kathy, this is why we keep you around. Among other reasons. But that is certainly one of them. Alright, so let's some stuff here. Yeah, so it's basically a bunch of favelas. So we can do some buildings like this. Actually, let's clear out the area by Enzi. One thing I don't like about Clip Studio is the way that it doesn't do the shift line drawing, like vertical and horizontal, very well. It can do it in any direction, like it can make any straight line, but in order to get it perfectly horizontal, I haven't found a trick for that. Maybe someone else knows it. If someone else knows it, please tell me, because sometimes I just want to draw a perfectly horizontal or vertical line, and I don't think Clip Studio wants me to do that for some reason. Okay, so feels a little bit better. Okay. Okay. Let's just quickly mask some of this out. Go, and let's remove this here. All right, I might clean up this next panel quite a bit because we got all 4 characters here, and none of them looked very descript, so let's see. I'm trying to remember what Enzi was doing. I think he was looking at his watch or something. But the other characters were like ready to go. Let's switch up the song. Really goes off. Change the height of some of these buildings over here. Doesn't quite seem fitting anymore. Looking at it again. Probably this roof is going to be a lot closer, so let's actually go in here. And let's do something like this. There we go. Probably going to be, we'll just use these guidelines. To move Javen over a bit because that's going to create a tangent with the side of the wall. For that corner, I mean. There we go. It's a little better. Okay, let's do a quick. Actually, you know what? Javen's okay. You know what? I should work on the other characters instead. There we go. It's quite the crew, isn't it? Very eclectic looking bunch of teens. What is the dialogue here? Oh, okay, I remember now. not revealing it just because I figured that you guys can check it out when it's released someday. Wide shoulders. He's got the backpack on this frame too, so with that strap right here, and here. Oh, thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. I'm glad you think it looks good. Yeah, I just wish I could finish this faster for you guys. There's so much I want to do. So little time to do it all. But one day this will be like fully funded and I'll be able to do this as a full-time job. And then suddenly you'll be like, man, Jordan, you just released the whole episode like 3 days ago. Now you got another one? What the heck, man? Didn't even finish. Okay, I don't think I'll be working that fast, but it will be cool. So that's the crotch right there. One thing I try not to do whenever I draw a character for the proportions is to draw them with like super baggy pants to the point where I guess the split in the crotch is like lower, and that helps me to kind of map out their heights regardless of what it is that they're wearing, because sometimes they're wearing something kind of baggy like Javen even, but his proportions are the exact same as Alam's. I just made Alam taller and lankier. So yeah, I appreciate this, Lily. You can't rush perfection. That actually really means a lot. Thank you. Actually, sounds like the quote from Toy Story 2 where the guy's like, "We can't rush art." You remember that? The old guy was fixing Woody after he got the tear in his arm. All right. So we got Mr. Tight Pants over here. Pants towards the bottom. Belt. And then he's got one part of his shirt that's not tucked in because, I don't know, cool guys do that, I guess. Also correct, you can't rush art. Thank you, Lily. I appreciate that so much. Okay. I think Z's head might be a little on the large side. Yeah, one character I always liked who had his arms kind of like that is Soul Evans from Soul Eater. You guys know who that is? He was always Mr. Cool Guy. But I can use, if I can find a higher quality version of that picture. And use that as a reference for how to get his arms. This will work, yeah. The one thing about this character is his shoulders slope a lot, whereas these they kind of come to a point because of his vest, and then they slope. Plus, he's also got baggier cloth, much baggier cloth than what's on, right? At least on his arms. Soul Eater is one anime I never finished. Should I read the manga? I don't know. I never read the manga. I've watched the show. Actually, Soul Eater was the very first anime I ever watched, and I loved it up until the very last episode. The very last episode, the final 10 minutes, is so dumb. I don't even understand who came up with the idea, and I'm just going to spoil it. Spoiler if you care about Soul Eater and you haven't seen it, but they're battling like the Kishin, which is like the evil, villain character that everyone's so scared of, and all the school is fighting him, like all the school, and especially the main kids, right? And blow after blow after blow, they're all losing, and Maka finally gets up, and I was thinking she was going to perform this super insane, finish him move, KO type of thing, and she just goes like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to defeat you with bravery. And the Kishin goes like, what do you mean? And it was just this whole thing. She's like, yeah, I'm going to be here and stand strong. And thumbs up. And I'm not going to be afraid of you. And blah, blah. And he literally loses his mind and runs away and like explodes. And everyone just goes up and congratulates her afterwards. And I was like, what kind of ending was that? Like, what a letdown. And yeah, so I don't know how much of that is accurate to the manga. I assume that ending is very different, because if you end a story like that, you deserve all the hate. You deserve all the hate. And rest assured, when Shadow Boxers gets to its final chapter in 20 years or however long it takes me to finish, it will not end like that. I already have a very strong idea for the ending, and that is not even close. So we will have epic fights and some character moments and all that stuff, just in case anyone's worried. It wasn't just like it got canceled or they just had to stop, so they made something up. I don't actually know. Maybe one of you guys can look that up, because I genuinely don't know what happened. But I'll tell you, the only reason I even watched the show in the first place was because I used to watch this channel on YouTube. It still exists. It's called The Cartoon Block, and it was this black guy named Evan Burst who would draw characters. And when I was first discovering it, I was in high school, and he was basically showing how to use basic shapes to construct characters. And I watched his videos all the time, and he drew the Soul Eater characters because at the time that's when I was really kind of liking the manga anime aesthetic, because I'd never seen it really before. And so he mentioned something about the story about them being weapons, and I was so confused. I was like, what is he talking about? And so I ended up watching it because of that. That was the only reason, because I think I was the only person who even watched any sort of anime in my friend group. Like I didn't grow up with people watching like Full Metal Alchemist or anything. I got my friends in the Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop and stuff. And now we'll reminisce on it, but I was the first of my friends to actually get into any of that stuff. And I'm not even a super fan. Like there's so many that I have yet to watch, as Megan will lovingly remind me from time to time on the stream. But yeah, there's a lot that I have not seen. I just noticed something about this. Someone photoshopped Crocs onto him really poorly, and I'm pretty sure it's the opposite foot. Did anyone else notice that before I said anything? Because I totally missed it. Hey, I'm not even that much of a weeb. To be honest, anyone who watches more than me is probably a weeb. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't worry, Megan. That's a lot. And honestly, the reason I don't watch a lot of anime, one is because sometimes the storylines are a little too out there for me. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And then the other times, it's like super long. Usually, it's like some of the famous ones are hundreds of episodes, and I don't have time for that. I really don't. I think a show should have a limited shelf life, at least for the main arc. If you want to do spin-offs and stuff, that's whatever. I usually don't expect spin-offs to be as good because typically it's not the reason why you do those things, unless you build a world like a Star Wars or something like that. Then it's going to be a little difficult. I am attempting to be able to do that with Shadow Boxers, so that if I do really enjoy it and by the time I finish it I want to do more, that we can jump into the world and like do a bunch of characters and just have spin-offs and things like that. Hopefully not to mess with the integrity of the original story, but just something that's simple. I gotta admit, I think it would be kind of hard to continue Jaden's story as a spin-off sequel as of right now. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that'll change. We'll see how famous this is and what time I have. Because this story is already plenty. Already enough to work with. I was finding this shoe strange. To be fair, though, you do watch the same shows over and over. That is also true. I do. Part of the reason is because, one, it's just comforting. Two, I just like watching the same stuff because I don't have to pay as much attention. Like whenever you're watching something for the first time, you kind of gotta really stick through it. Unless it's like a live action show, in which case I often will kind of just have it playing on to the side, like on the screen, and then I'll be drawing. I'll look over it once in a while. If it's something animated, it's harder for me because I want to watch it very vividly. And I won't want to miss a second of it. And so what ends up happening, because I'm always working, I don't end up watching a lot of animation because just the timing. Because you gotta keep in mind, like I've been in school. I went straight from undergrad to grad school. Actually, from high school to college to grad school, back to back to back. I had no breaks. And then right after that, there's that time in COVID. We were all trying to figure life out. And now I have a full-time job in teaching and stuff. And life is hitting, and life events and stuff like that. So yeah, it becomes a little bit challenging. I actually think I'm probably gonna have to be physically restrained in order to watch certain stuff, just because it's timing. Just because I think. I feel pretty good, but something about this doesn't feel quite right. I think I might have something more punch. Rotating. Just a tiny bit. Saved. Okay. So what would be the face he's making here? I think he's just saying a regular line of dialogue. Just have him talk. Just talking. Face is a little lopsided, so let's fix that. And I think I can make his chin just a touch longer too. Forehead. Let's get that forehead there. Let's get this to be a little lumpier up here. And let's get this shoulder looking better. Okay, I think Z's looking pretty good. I think he's looking all right. His hair up here might be a little on the long side though. So let's bring that in. I need to get like a little key to how to draw Zalam's hair strands, because they change every time. The one thing that is consistent is that there are 6 of them. Okay, I think Z is looking pretty good. At least for the purposes of the sketch. I can't forget this. Okay, and then let's do Cairo. Cairo way over here. Crossing arms is always one of those things that can be a little tricky if you don't know what you're really doing. That's a good one. Let me see. So collarbone, knew that. Torso's not front. Knew that. Okay, I knew all these things, but they're good reminders. Good reminders nonetheless. You can always use a refresher. Like, I kid you not, guys, I've been, like I said, relearning and reteaching myself perspective. I got a book right here, Scott Robertson, and then I got another one on the floor right here. And I've been watching videos. Like, I'm trying to conquer this stuff so it no longer slows me down. Hair does have a mind of its own. I like the detail that they move. Well, thank you. I think that's more due to the fact that I'm not paying attention as much sometimes. So yeah, we'll chalk it up to that. Okay, let's see. The height of Cairo is where in relation to Z? Let's see. That's about the hairline. Okay, so Kyra's got to be like here, roughly. So I need to scale him up. Scale him up slightly. That, or I could make Zalon a little smaller. Either way. I think what I'll do is I'll just sketch it out this way, and then I'll scale them up later. There. That's too low then. Hold up. I need to replot this out. Okay, so let's say this is hairline. It's the chin. So 2 is right here. 3. 4. Okay, so those are our marks. Okay, so that's about 6 right there. Oh wow, I really was off. Okay, so that means, actually, if I scale this up, then you probably would be in line almost with what I have here. Yeah, it actually kind of works out because the hat's a little bit taller than the head. Okay, and then the cross arms, let's get a photo reference. Actually kind of intrigued me. I actually don't know who that YouTuber is. Sometimes there's just a little bit of a personal swagger that I need that wasn't giving in some of the other photos. Just say that, like this guy, he actually has a very similar physique to what I'm going for, so this will be perfect. Even the similar direction too. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, I wouldn't have even thought to draw his shoulder this way, so I'm glad that I found this. Let's move him over a little bit more. There we go. I think Cairo has a watch almost. Yeah, not quite a watch, but he does have bracelets, so it's actually perfect reference. In more ways than I anticipated. That's always fun. And then this is where his jacket kind of crosses over. I'll move him over a little bit. He doesn't need to be bumping elbows. You don't need to be doing all that. Let's have him relax the shoulders just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, and then let's get the jacket. And got the tie. Got it tied up here. Tried to make it a point when designing him to make one of the sleeves longer than the other, because usually it doesn't really, tie up perfectly evenly. So I just thought it would be a fun little detail that only I would notice, which is why I'm bringing it up here on the behind the scenes videos. Because that's basically what this is. This is a behind the scenes series for Shadow Boxers. By the way, if you guys haven't already, I think everyone here, for the most part, is in my Discord. If you're not in the Discord, the link is in the description. But I posted a video, and it was this guy who made his own animation studio by himself. And he taught himself how to use Blender and Maya and learn how to animate traditionally. And it's just a super inspiring story. And he made like whole movies. I don't know how this man afforded to live. I don't know if he worked a job. I don't know if he had Patreon. I have no clue. But what he did was impressive for anybody. But I did put the video in the Discord. Matter of fact, let me see. So I can find the right channel and tell you guys exactly what it is. Is it in artwork? Is it in general? Yeah, okay. I put it in the general section. It's this one right here. How I wrote, directed, and animated a solo feature film. Freaking incredible story. If you guys have not seen it, do it after this stream. Or even if you want, you could have it up on the side and have the captions on and watch both at the same time. I've done that before. Sometimes I have like a Let's Play going, but an informational video on the other side. I am what's wrong with with this generation, I guess. Megan said, I watched that. It's amazing. I agree 100%. I still need to watch that. I also agree with that 100%. Gotta get on it. Get on it. But it's so cool. It's only like 12 minutes long. But if you need some inspiration, definitely watch that. Okay. So what I just did there, I just fixed up his leg because I realized he had broken his leg, but based on how I drew it before, it was kind of going like from the side. His leg would have been doing this. Like this is his calf, and that's his toe. That's how it was looking before. So that's why I had to fix that. Might even still be a little bit like that, but I can shift it. All right. So let's draw him. I don't need to go crazy into the detail. Just honestly, a straight face is fine for this. Mark says, what are we watching? In the Discord, in the general chat, I posted something on June 5th, so about a month ago. And it says how I wrote, directed, and animated a solo feature film. All of you guys should watch this. It is so fantastic. It's basically, this title is exactly what it sounds like. He did everything. He learned himself how to do it. And he got nominated for some awards, or maybe even won a few awards at film festivals. But yeah, he's like doing this all by himself, which is just spectacular. It's so amazing. And what I like about it is like not every drawing he does is perfect, but he still has produced so much, you know, which is a lot. And it's more than most of us can say. Like I can't say I've made my own animated feature film by myself. Like I've done little animated shorts, but the whole thing by itself, nah. I just noticed something. Oh man, I think I made his shirt off center a little bit. That's okay. I can fix it in the collar. If it's even something worth changing, which is probably not. But see, there we go. There's the whole perfectionism thing I was literally just talking about coming through again. That's exactly how this all works. Okay, so Cairo's done. We can slide him over a bit. Give him some breathing room. Yeah, not bad, not bad. We can actually probably make him a little lighter. And does he feel quite right? Something, I feel like his sweatshirt is still a little on the higher side. So let's just warp it. Just do a little warping. Get the belly. And the pants are a lot baggier than pretty much anyone else's. And the baggy, like one leg up, one leg down, that was in style like in, I want to say 07, 06. So I figured why not include it here. All right, and now for everyone's favorite, Enzi. Favorite to make fun of for a reason I still don't fully understand, actually. Oh, wait. There's one thing I need to do. I need to do the backpack one. I think that's how it works. I'll have to double check later. All right, now let's do Enzi. So Enzi's a little bit different. He's looking down at his thing. Okay. It's looking pretty good right there. Let's actually enlarge this. Ah, I said enlarge. Okay. How do you... Oops. Ah, darn it. I just need to see a quick pose reference. Some of these poses are actually hilarious. I should probably be taking photo reference myself, but it's a little challenging to get up in the middle of the stream and get my whole camera set up just so I can take this picture. I think I'm just going to need to have a roommate again, just so I can take photo references. Be like, here, do this. Lay down. Sit down. Turn around. Act like you're punching. And just give commands all day. But it's all for art. They would have to understand. It's for the sake of art, so it's okay. Loading, loading, loading. Okay. Maybe he doesn't need to lean forward like that, actually. Maybe it's just his head that's doing it. Okay. Gotta get the face right. Profile views are typically the easiest, but it's one thing to be aware of because it's very easy to kind of mess up the proportions too. You just gotta be cognizant. Okay, you know what? The more I look at this, actually, the more I'm thinking it would be weird to have him just standing off like that. Actually, even my sketch doesn't show him doing that. He's looking kind of off towards us. So sorry, drawing, but you're gonna have to go. You're not serving the purpose. Okay. Do I even like that? Let's give him a slightly different pose. I'm gonna put his hand on his hip because why not? I suddenly got real sleepy all of a sudden. I'll be okay though. I can make it. hair. Okay. That's looking closer. Proportions are a little off. His chin is very adult. There's no youth in him. So we gotta round that out. I don't like that one either. Yeah, let me try this. Maybe something like this will be better. Here's another thing that I find a little annoying about Clip Studio is all the menus it has off to the side. There's Photoshop, you just kind of have one thing and it worked for you. With this case, I have to have several windows. It can get a little annoying. Actually, can make that a little lower. Can actually have him messing with his watch a little bit, or not really watch, I guess it's more like a glove. Where was that pose of that one guy who had a nice line of action? Is it this guy? It's a little too smooth. Looks like he belongs in some sort of like Mexican soap opera. Just like I've never seen a guy look quite like this. He's just very dapper to me. This might be better. This might be a better pose. Trial and error, y'all. Trial and error. You know what? Let's actually just start over. You know what? I'm just gonna erase the whole drawing and just consider that an L. Which happens sometimes. How in the world did he drop his head? So it's like... All right, there we go. And then we see his body tilting. So he's got his shoulder up like this. So pose is at that angle. This is going to be the weight leg. I'm gonna have to save this photo reference in the file just for the sake of ease. There we go. Y'all are awfully quiet. It's been like 20 minutes. Either y'all fell asleep and I bored you too much, or y'all are like doing your own stuff. I bet it's because we're not talking about controversial issues like the presidential debate that I haven't heard much. Let me see. What does Spider-Man do when he needs to find something? Oh, okay. We gotta drink to this one. I do not know. Although, wait, he checks the web. Ha 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 ha. Oh my goodness. That was a good one, Mark. Oh, open the box. Hey, you know what? I need the engagement. I need the chat engagement. But you know what? I'll I'll open it up somewhere else. Wow, stirring the pot, huh? Hey, you know what? Why not? Everyone else does it. No, I actually don't want to hear people's opinions on it because I think everyone knows it was a mess. I don't think there's a single person who doesn't think it was that I thought it was a normal conversation. But I do have one hydration check thing to tell y'all. They have at Disneyland a Spider-Man ride. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's very new. They have Avengers Land, which is like one of the only things that is completed. Because I know they're doing something with Iron Man. I think I know they have a Guardians of the Galaxy themed like drop tower, but they have a Spider-Man ride. And what you do is you sit in this car and basically Peter Parker comes out. He's like, hey guys, I have these new self-duplicating spider bots. And then they start like breaking and start malfunctioning and losing control. And so basically what you have to do is you have to go and web them up. And so you're watching this TV and you have your 3D glasses on, you're in this car, and you have to kind of web them up, but it's motion censored, so it can only register if you go like this. You have to go like that a bunch. And when I tell you, it is the biggest workout I've ever gotten on any sort of theme park ride. It was insane, because basically you're spending the whole time going like this. It's almost like you're flipping everybody off, but it's one of those things that looks so dumb until you're doing it. And it makes you go like, man, I don't even want to be Spider-Man no more. This sucks. Like this is so tiring. I was hoping that they would have some sort of glove where you could actually, do the finger movement that he does and actually shoot the web out. I think one day they'll probably upgrade it to that, because it's pretty tiring. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about you guys' debate, because we've had our own major issues in Kenya for the last few weeks. Oh, you know what? We'll just commiserate with you then, man. Disneyland has changed a lot. It really has. It really has. I mean, I don't know the last time you went. The last time I was there I was 12 years old. And no, I was 13 years old, but it was the year 2007, I believe. Or wait. No, it was 2008. It was 2008 because I was going into the 8th grade. Yeah. So yeah, it was 2008 last time I went there, and we didn't even get the to go on the California Adventure side. But I remember it used to be kind of lame. Like there were lot of cool rides, but there wasn't much of a theme to it. But now it's basically like Pixar's theme park is basically what it is, which is pretty cool. So yeah. May says, I think I was in the 8th grade. Oh, then in that case, you were probably there on the same day. Didn't even know it. That would actually be so cool if we go back in time and realize we like passed up each other. Okay, this is feeling a little bit better. It's feeling a little bit better. Let's make Enzi a little bow-legged. Just because I feel like it. Nothing wrong with bow-legged peeps, but I figure why not. People like making fun of Enzi anyway, and now I'll give him another reason, just because. Alright, but the height difference, let's see. So his head was... Whoa. Okay, his hair is about here. Is that about right? Let me see. Hairline is about there. Maybe I can scale him up just a touch. But yeah. Oh yeah, there's the hydration for telling y'all the story. But yeah, that was a workout, but it was fun. I had a good time. I also found out, actually, I'm curious, without looking it up, how much money do you think Disneyland makes in a day? Just out of curiosity. And I'm talking about the one in, I think it's just the one in LA. I assume it is. The stat that I saw was just for the one in LA, as far as I know. But how much do you guys think they make in a single day? I was like, man, what a fortune. So that's a hint for you guys. It's a lot. They make a lot. Then again, it also takes a lot to run it per day. But that's one thing I gotta give Walt Disney credit for, is starting it, because the theme park. Because his movies, you know, they were hit or miss back in the day. I mean, now they're classics because, you know, the legacy. But when he started the park, he everyone thought it was a terrible idea. It was the first major theme park of its kind. As you can tell, I did a little research because I was just curious about it. But basically, the story is he was walking with his 2 daughters through like a carnival, and he's like, man, I should create, like, I wish there was a park that both adults and kids can enjoy. And so he's like, why don't I just make a theme park with all the characters that I've made over the years and call it Disneyland? And they actually at the time thought it was very self-aggrandizing, or you know, just very, wow, you're pretty full of yourself, you know. And they were finishing things at the last minute. Actually, there were certain things that broke, and apparently people were so excited, but there were no rules really, and there also weren't. They had all these issues, like there weren't enough bathrooms, and so apparently in the parking lot, there's a bunch of like 10-year-old boys just pissing in the parking lot because there was nowhere to go. And someone was like, "We gotta stop them," and someone was like, let them pee. This is the opening, and this is so exciting. And apparently they had like a 7-mile backup for traffic on the day it opened in 1955. But yeah, I watched it. It was like a 30-minute documentary I saw on YouTube. It was really fascinating. But anyway, there are people who are Disney parks fanatics and know all about the history and all that. I wouldn't call myself a fanatic. I had a pretty good memory, and you know, I watched it just last week, but I just found it super fascinating. But since no one has guessed, Disneyland takes about $5 million a day to run, but it earns $17 million in a day. So basically they're netting $12 million every single day. And I was like, man, just a day. I mean, I think if each person could just pocket that money for a day's worth of Disneyland, we wouldn't have any single problems in life, financially speaking. Everybody's like, "Hey, let me have 200,000 real quick." Got you, bro. I got my Disneyland payment coming through. All right. So I think Enzy's looking pretty good there. Let's just clean up the sketch a bit. Wow, it's already 7:30. Where does the time go? Where does it go? Let's get the goggles here. So that's a lot of money. Tell me about it, right? So if they're, let me see, if they're netting 12 million in a day, what is that per year? Oh man, that's too. that's what showed up in my calculator. So I assume that's 4.38 billion. Based on this, what does the E stand for? Does anyone remember what the E stands for? I actually don't know. But yeah, my guess is they earn about $4 billion a year. Or is it making, wait, E means 10? Power 10? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Wait, so wait, they wouldn't be making trillions of dollars though, right? No, that's too much. But yeah, it's actually really inspiring to think about how animation is what drove Disney to become this giant empire that it is. If you really think about it. All right, so what I'm gonna do with Enzy, I'm gonna thin him out a little bit. I made him too wide because I was going off the reference and I just want to get the pose. So let's thin him out. Just give him that sleek body. His body kind of looks like Frozone a little bit, since we're talking about Disney, or Pixar, whatever. Okay. All right. Can actually probably hide a little bit of his leg with the cloak that he's wearing. So he's pushing buttons on the glove. You could probably have a little beep boop or something. A little sound effect for later. Okay. All right, then he's got his backpack. That foot is definitely not looking right. Okay, I'll probably pull this down a little bit more. All right, here we go. So now we got all three characters lined up. That took a while. I think it was mostly Inzi giving me problems. Maybe that's why we make fun of him. Actually, it's mostly you guys. I don't even know why. I'm not even sure what happened. Just try to design a fun character. I actually don't mind it. I think it's fun. Oh, what's up, Neil? How you doing? Thank you for coming on stream. It's been a while. All right. So we got that here. All right, excellent. I think we're in good shape because now we're gonna have a line of dialogue from Zalam. Probably gonna go in this section, probably looking like that. I think that'll be good. Yeah. The background. That's really more like the roof. And then we can always make Javen a little bigger if we want as well. Can make them smaller in the frame, actually, just visually speaking. He can always cover the feet a little bit, overlap. Yeah, I think that looks good. Neil says, I'm listening while cleaning my room. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, I need to clean up a little bit too. They're looking good. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is a decent enough spot. Yeah. Now let's play with the final panel a little bit. If it loads, assuming it loads. All right. So I think in this one we had, actually, let's just open up the layer a little. Let's see what we're working with. Frame 6, so it's these, right? Okay. So what do we have here? We had the, actually, let me turn this off. There we go. So we got the tower, the wire tower that Mark so wonderfully did. And then I put these buildings here for the hill. The hill might be a little too tall, but it's okay. It's fun. Actually, yeah, I should move this a little lower because I want the tower to stand out the most. So we'll just say maybe something like that. We'll just have these smaller buildings here taken up. Mark says, "Yay, tower!" Yep, it's gonna be a major part of this. So yeah, let me actually. The horizon line is vastly different. Let's lower this. I think I did this mostly for the colors, actually, but this is probably close. Well, let me see. That's going down, so that means the horizon's gotta be around here. Yeah, that feels right. Feels about right. And then here, you could put like a little fire escape. Maybe like a clothesline or something. I'd have to look and see what that would look like. Get some reference. You can always have a building that's kind of L-shaped like this. Let's lower the opacity on all this and just start a new sketch. And let's start with the correct horizon. Horizon and the water tower, we could just trace that. I think I'm gonna need, well, let's see. So I realize these are two different drawings. Hey, Megan, resident comic queen, question for you. Which do you think would lead to a better composition? Actually, anyone, you guys can all chip in for this. I just called on Megan because she's the comics queen. So do you think it'd be better to have the water tower closer to what I have here, where it's a little closer, and the characters kind of looking up towards it? Or do you think it should be kind of further away and the characters be like here overlooking? So what do you think? What do you guys think? And obviously, if it was a big one, then they would be closer to down here. So option 1 is higher. This is option 1. This is option 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. And if it's too light, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it visible. Option 1, option 2, option 1, option 2. Wow, looking at that, I guess the page is mostly done after this. I could always build off of these frames, but I don't even know if these really need backgrounds like that, especially not this one on the right. I could just put like a pop of color in the back and it'll be fine. Yeah, and actually this one, yeah, let's see. I like that it's higher up in option 1. Seems more foreboding, and water tower should be high up anyways. Okay. All right, option 1 it is. Let's see. Okay, so horizon lines, that's still accurate then? Almost. It's a little off. Say it's somewhere around there, roughly. Man, it's been loading real slow. What's going on here? Clip Studio. Clip Studio. It's probably what happens when you don't restart your computer and you have 69 to 70 Chrome tabs open. That's probably why it's doing this. If I were to take a wild guess. Okay, let's do this. Since this is going to be covered now, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to move the city and push it somewhere else. Those of you SpongeBob fans, you caught that. And we can still have the water tower be the tallest building. Shrinking some of these other ones a bit. Clip Studio really spooks me at times with its delayed reaction times. Yeah, it's can be a little annoying. I just don't want to lose stuff, because I work hard on this. So it makes me nervous. Okay, so if that's our building. This could be a second building that's even closer to us, actually. Probably have to get rid of that. Have some fire escapes. Don't worry, guys. The perspective will be fixed later. I'm just trying to envision. Because that's one thing you guys probably noticed is I have a way about me that where sometimes it's it's hard for me to focus on the big picture because I'm so worried about tiny stuff, which is not unimportant, but it can mess with me sometimes. So get these small buildings here. Actually, it should probably be a little bit of separation, you could say. We're gonna have to give the water tower its own little area, own little plane to work with, and all these buildings can come in somewhere later. Okay. So as long as I don't interfere too much with what we got there, should be good. And then the speech bubble can go right here. Maybe I can move the model just a little bit more this way. So we got Salam looking right at the water tower, and the kids will be looking at the water tower in the next frame. So that'll be nice. That'll be nice. Oh. This says cool composition. Thank you. I think this was mostly Megan's idea, except I go back. Let me see. What was the original look for the page? Yeah, I can tell by the drawing style of this. This was the original look of it. Obviously, we haven't worked out everything yet. But I like how it's coming out. I think the basic idea is there. You can see it pretty clearly. We might even be able to scale. I think I might scale this up, actually, just a little bit. building. Actually, the building should probably be here based on the size of it. So let's do this. And because Javen jumps in from another building, we're gonna need a large one, a slightly larger one, to kind of accommodate for that. And this is happening on the previous page. He jumps in from another building. So we can even do something like this too. And move this back just a touch. Then let's come in here and do a quick trace of the water tower. It's more eye-catching, larger like that. Oh, good. That is exactly what we're going for. Okay. Now, based on the way they're running, I think I'll have to move this ladder over here instead, or however the model makes it look like. I remember to put that there. And then there's going to be some writing right here. So we'll just put text for now. Some more little buildings. Probably be some sort of fence over here. Okay. Skewed quite a bit to make that work. Like I said, I'm gonna have to map this out, make it a little bit more precise. All right, how does this feel, you guys? The characters will be right here, probably be like that scale, roughly. We can always have the lighting point to them. Actually, you know, can we do that with the composition? Let's see how we can do that. Maybe we can do like a flag or something on this building. Kind of goes there. I was trying to think of ways we can have the buildings kind of point to them a little bit more precisely. I'm just going to type Gwen Stacy because we don't really mention Gwen that much. All right, fair enough. We're fans of Gwen. Kathy says, nice, excellent. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so yeah, this is what we're looking at. I wonder, what can we do? Anyone have ideas for how we can kind of point more to them? I don't necessarily want to get rid of these foreground buildings too much, or I could pull back or pull in a little bit more, push in more. Make it look something like this. Maybe something like this is better. Yeah, actually, this is kind of like this. I think that might have solved it. Yeah, you get the nice read right here, very simple. You go from, well, let me move this up. You go straight from his eyes to the water tower to here and down. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. All right, making progress. I think it's something to do with color or maybe clouds. Oh, that's a good idea. That looks good too. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But anyway, guys, that is all the time. Goodness. I don't know if you guys can hear the dog barking. Who remembers my earliest streams where every time I streamed, the dog would always bark? You remember that? The dog I just couldn't stand. I was like, he only barks when I'm on the phone in a class or doing a live stream. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me working on Shadow Boxers, and I will see you all next time. Peace.